That's right, folks. Got to run the car through the old car wash real quick before I give you a little announcement of an event coming up this weekend. Because you definitely want to have a clean car for a high-speed pursuit. You definitely got to have a car wash before you take out on the roads, you know what I'm saying? Especially what I'm getting ready to tell you. Yeah, it's Scott again with the tourist trap. Yeah, I'm not sure if this might be off topic, I'm not sure, but it's something that's going on nationwide. Not really a local event, local attraction, or local restaurant. As you may know, as you've heard me make comments about the Dukes of Hazzard, and you've heard me make comments about Sonny Schroyer, who played Enos on Dukes of Hazzard. If you do not know that, just now tuning in, haven't looked at my about page on my YouTube channel or in my description, about a little bit about me, but I am his personal agent. Book his personal appearances. Been doing that for 25 years. He is what I consider one of my best friends out of 3 people I got as I would say my really best friends that I talk to on the phone weekly. I talk to several people on the phone, but he does call me. I call him. We talk every week. Did a lot of things over the years. This specific event, he is a part of, that's happening Sunday, May 21st, and on Wednesday, May 24th. It's a limited engagement, and going to tie in James Best into this scenario too, due to the other actor that I'm going to mention about this event. Jimmy, I called him Jimmy. I knew him personally through my friendship with Sonny Schroyer. I know several of the cast members of Dukes, several of the crew, stunt crew, other crew. Knew the head writer. But anyways, beside all that, I got some footage I want to show. I put it up on my other channel a while back. Me visiting Jimmy at one of the many times I visited him at his home when he lived in Orlando. He didn't live right in Orlando. He lived in the outskirts of Orlando in Geneva, Florida, Seminole Woods. They no longer live there. Of course, Jimmy passed away 2 years ago. Did hear from his wife and talk to her back in April. She's doing good. She still lives in North Carolina. We all miss Jimmy. Think about Jimmy a lot. He was a good friend. He was as funny as he was on camera and off. What you see is what you got. He was a barrel of fun to be around. Quite the jokester. But anyways, I got some video of him in his home, showing some of his oil paintings, which I did purchase that day. Purchased several paintings from him that I own. I wouldn't part with for any amount of money. But anyways, I'm going to tie him into this here at the end. Show you a little clip from a visit I had with Jimmy Best, Rosco P. Coletrane. His most famous characters, what he's probably well known as. He did a series of films, legend in Hollywood, unbelievable, remarkable, talented individual, hundreds of screenplays. I could go on and on and on about Jimmy Best or Sonny Schroyer or anybody on the Dukes of Hazzard. But anyways, we're going to go take a little drive here, and I'm going to show you the event that's coming up. You might want to catch this. It's by Fathom Events. Fathom. Yeah, Fathom. I can't even say it. Fathom Events. And it is a limited engagement starting tomorrow, May 21st, and again, Wednesday, May 24th. Shooting these videos doesn't really take as long as it does getting to and from the locations. I spend most of my time in Orlando sitting in traffic waiting on these left arrow red lights, and you sit here and you sit here and you sit here and you sit here, and it's a long time. And I just want to get from here to there. It's just like from this location to that location, and shooting the video is easy. Like I said, I spend more time sitting in traffic in Orlando just to get to these locations, and it's absolutely crazy in here sometimes according to what time of day it is. Well, now here is the big announcement. I am at the cinema I'm at the Cinemark Cinema here in Orlando. Surprisingly, there is no posters up for this event by Fathom Events for May 21st and May 24th. That's Sunday and Monday. The 40th anniversary of Smokey and the Bandit. Surprised they don't have any signage up here. This event's happening tomorrow. 2 showings, 2 p.m., 7 p.m. At select theaters throughout the country. Go to Fathom Events website. I'm going to have a link in the description of where to go to purchase tickets in advance. Obviously, they're not promoting this at the box office, at least at not this box, at this cinema here. There's no posters whatsoever signifying the 40th anniversary of this great film. Which, by the way, without Smokey the Bandit, Dukes of Hazzard probably wouldn't have got off the ground. No pun intended, getting off the ground. You know, that generally did fly through the air. And one other significance about this film: 3 cast members of the Dukes of Hazzard was in Smokey and the Bandit Part 1, which is celebrating its 40th anniversary this year with 2 limited engagements: Sunday, May 21st, Wednesday, May 24th, 2 p.m. and 7 p.m. showings only. So reserve your seats at a select theater. Go to their website, find where it's showing. It's showing in multiple places here in Orlando, all over the country. But 3 people from the Dukes of Hazzard was in this film. Sonny Schroyer was one of them. He was the motorcycle cop that pulled Jerry Reed over. And Sally Field and Burt Reynolds came screaming by in the Trans Am, and Sally Field flipped him the bird, and he chased him, flew through the air, landed in some water. Ben Jones, he was a background player in the beginning of it, standing behind some trucks. John Schneider, who played Bo Duke, he was in a crowd shot. But Sonny Schroyer, out of the 3 of them, was the only one who had a speaking role in this film. And it wasn't very much longer after this film, a couple years. This opened in '77. They started filming Dukes in '78. Dukes premiered in January '79. So it wasn't that much far off when this took off. After this movie took off, the Dukes started. And I remember Guy Waldron saying he thought about using a Trans Am, you know, because of the success of this film. Everybody wanted a Trans Am, and he's just like, well, you know, let the studio, I'll just pick a car. So they turn around the corner, and he goes, what is that? He said, that's a '69 Dodge Charger. And he asked him what color he wanted, and he goes, orange. He just, orange. So that's how the General Lee came about. But anyways, show you a little clip of a trailer from this film.
At last, a warm, sensitive, touching story about the close personal relationship between a man and a woman, between a trucker and his dog.
Fred, I'm so damn tired of picking you up. I got to. Fred!
Between a father and his son.
No way that you could come from my loins.
And how they all took to the road one day for a quiet little drive in the country. From Georgia to Texas and back in 28 hours flat with a truckload of bootleg beer.
I'll be driving this one. Hey, blocker. You'll be driving the truck. This is Bandit 1, and that is Bandit 2.
Now, who would do a thing like that?
You're crazy, you know that? Yeah, you know that.
Well, that was just a brief clip of that movie trailer for Smokey and the Bandit. And they did all take to the road one day for a quiet little drive in the country. Yeah, right. That particular movie had one famous scene in it, and it was the Trans Am jumping over that abandoned bridge. And also when he picked up Sally Field in the Trans Am with the wedding dress. That's a classic scene now. From way back. When they did it, it was just, okay, we put a film up. Of course, they were competing against Star Wars. Another thing about Burt Reynolds, him and Jimmy Best, who played Rosco, which I was friends with Jimmy up until he passed away, they were pretty good buddies. Jimmy did several films with Burt. He wasn't in Smokey and the Bandit. Sonny Schroyer was. He did the movie The End. Jimmy did. He was a producer on that. He didn't get credit for it, sadly enough, but he was doing a movie called Hooper with Burt when he got the call to go and be the sheriff on the Dukes of Hazzard. So let me go show you a little bit of video of my trip, one of my visits when I visited Jimmy Best at his house when he lived in Florida. His little art gallery he had. I bought some paintings off of him. Go check that out, and I'll be right back.
This is my gallery in my home, and you can tell by the mess that I'm a genius. I'm a genius painter. I'm kidding. See, actually, we'll pan around. You see, I'm going to show you something that is absolutely ridiculous. This is sort of an abstract. Now, what I'll do is I'll put an old house back here in the background, and then I'll fog it in real easy, and then I'll put down here, I'll put a sort of like a frozen lake. What it actually represents, as far as I'm concerned, is I was up in California one time, Northern California, and I had a place up there in a resort, and it snowed, and the trees were still in bloom, but the snow was on the ground, and great big snowflakes were falling, and that's what it reminded me of, actually. Now, this painting here is a swamp scene, actually, since I live here in Florida, and I like the water because I like to fish a lot. I have a scene with I don't know where that painting is. I had one with the Indians. Oh, that's downstairs. But this is as far as I'm concerned, this is going to be a nice, I think, a pretty painting when I finish. I'll put the foreground in and highlight it. The sun, as you can see, making streaks down through the trees.
I like that.
This will be a floral. This will probably go in. I'm going to have a showing up in Nashville in August. And
I'm not too far from Nashville. Some Amish.
This was taken. This was a logo for Sun Bank. Not all this stuff, but the two workers working in the field. It's from an old master originally, not mine, but I sort of copied it. But I did my own version of it, which is pretty nice. Let's see if I've got anything here that's really interesting.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that little clip there of Jimmy Best that I shot when I was visiting him at his home one time. One of the times that I was at his house, I was at his house a few times. That was the first time I was at his house. Purchased a couple paintings from him that day. He was a very exceptional painter. He liked to do a lot of landscapes and barns and stuff like that. He was just getting started at the time when I was at his house. He had a big showing in Nashville. He sent me an RSVP invitation to that. I still have the original invitation of his first showing. Kind of hold on to that personally, mailed out, to me. Means a lot. But not too much more I can say. But it is the 40th anniversary of this film that started it all. Without Smokey the Bandit, Dukes might not have been on the air. So a lot of car chases, car chases, the crooked cop and chasing the heroes. It's pretty much what went on Dukes of Hazzard. They would do about the same thing, not quite the same thing, but check out the website for this showing tomorrow, May 21st, Sunday, 2 p.m., 7 p.m. Just go to the website, enter your zip code. It will bring up all of the cinemas if you're interested in going to see this. Turner Classic Movies is going to do a little monologue, a little commentary. Either, I don't know if it's going to be before or after the film, but they are going to comment about it. They're doing a lot of releases of some of these films as Fathom events. I read that they are going to release in September, back in the theater, E.T. the Extraterrestrial. I think people will probably want to go see that in the theater if you never saw it in the theater. And the movie Casablanca, and they had a whole list of films. I know they did Ferris Bueller's Day Off. A lot of old classic films they've been bringing back to the theater and making money on them again. Basically for the fact of some people who didn't get to experience those films in the theater when they were actually out. Me, on the other hand, I experienced Smokey the Bandit, not in a walk-in theater, but at the drive-in theater in the car. I watched all three Smokey the Bandits at the drive-in. and that was an experience. There's still a few drive-ins around. There's one in Lakeland, one in Tampa, but I'm not talking about drive-ins today. But I do have more footage of Jimmy Best. I can't get it transferred over right now because it's on a different format of an old camcorder I used to have, which was a 8mm tape, and that quit working, so I can't play the tapes. But I do have that the snippet I just played. I had that one transferred off at the time, but I got a lot of other footage of Jimmy at his house, Sonny Schroyer, leaning back in the chair, and Bandito, his dog, getting up on top of Sonny. I remember Bandito, Jimmy's dog, got into my book bag and ate my crackers. Other things that we did, we went to a Mexican restaurant in Oviedo, me and Sonny and Jimmy, when Sonny came down and visited Jimmy along with me and Sonny Schroyer came. A lot of your Dukes fans, you might are interested probably in this video that I'm doing here today. I'm going to be sharing this on the Sonny Schroyer Facebook page I have, and also on the Tourist Trap. All you people out there watching the Tourist Trap, if you're interested in booking Sonny Schroyer as a personal appearance, you guys get a hold of me. Send me your number, leave me a comment, send me an email. Go to SonnySchroyerOnline.com, send me an email there, or the Sonny Schroyer Facebook page, which will be a link for that. My phone number's on there. Been doing that a long time. He's probably one of my best friends. That being said, hope you enjoyed this little video. Kind of not a attraction video or a local area type thing here. Kind of an important event I wanted to cover and I want to talk about. It is kind of significant, you know, being the 40th anniversary of this film. And I can believe there's no signage in this theater promoting this. I don't get that, but maybe it's because it's a limited engagement. They just want to promote it online. I'm not sure. But once they sell out, I guess. So go out there, make it a great day because you deserve it.